Hello everyone, my name is Juliet Ambali and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been a while that I did this and I'm so excited to be back. Thank God for His mercies, thank God for His goodness, thank God for every single thing. So today I want to talk about a very interesting topic and it's on the subject of what you can do or what should you do if you have a spouse who is not hands-on when it comes to parenting. It feels as though, yay, thank God you have a new baby or you already have a child that has grown to some point, and you've noticed that whether through the weeks or months or even years, that this other person is not as hands on as you would want them to be, or as intentional when it comes to parenting as you want them to be, and it's really giving you a cause for concern. All right, you feel as though you are single parenting when both of you are present in this child's life. Both of you are physically present in this child's life. Okay. However, it doesn't look that way, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like all of the work that has to do with nurturing and raising this child is left for you alone. And this has nothing to even do with any gender specifically, okay? It can happen to either gender. There are certain things that you know are steps or practices of someone who is intentional about parenting that your spouse is not taking. And it's not necessarily about them being ignorant, but it doesn't feel as though they are willing to even learn how to be intentional about parenting. And you are worried and you are concerned for your child's sake and for the family at large. What should you do? All right. So, number one, the first thing that I would advise you to do would be for you to pray. Many times we underestimate the things that prayer can do, but that's the first step I would like or I'd advise or suggest that you take. Pray. Okay? When you pray, you'll be amazed at what difference praying can do. Whether in changing the person directly or in helping you navigate some of the other steps I'm going to share with regards to how you're going to handle this situation with your spouse. So the first step that I'll advise that you take is for you to pray. Take out time to talk to God about it. In the course of praying, God can point out certain things that you need to see or that you need to know or understand about this person. It could be that maybe in their own background they saw that parenting was largely left for this particular gender, or intentional parenting, maybe areas of things like discipline and what have you, is left for this particular gender and things like that. Or when it comes to finances that can be attached to parenting, is left for this particular gender, and on and on and on. You get what I mean? Praying will help you understand certain things like their viewpoints, their background, where they are coming from. Okay. Or even it will even help you approach it in a better way, in a godlier way, in a way that would not aggravate or cause or bring about certain situations that you don't want to be in the first place. Okay. You want to correct things, but praying will help you mm, get to the point of what you are trying to address rather than making things go worse. Do you understand what I mean? So don't underestimate praying at all. The first thing that you need to do about this before taking any other step is for you to pray. Okay? The second thing that I would suggest will be that you call the spouse and have a conversation with them about it. If you don't have a conversation with them about it, you may begin to get resentful, take offense, be angry, and what have you. It's important to communicate how you feel about their not being intentional when it comes to how they are parenting your child or children, so that if they have been missing certain things, sometimes some people don't know that what they are doing is not right, except they are pointed towards that thing and then they realize, okay? So call your spouse and have a conversation with them about it. By so doing, you get to understand their mind. You know, just base everything that you are feeling on assumptions alone. You get to understand why they are doing the things that they are doing. You get to see things from their viewpoints. And who knows, having that conversation can be a turning point with regards to how they start being intentional about parenting your child or your children. All right. Now, the third thing that I would like to point out is that when it comes to parenting, just like the different aspects of family building, you need to ensure that you both have an agreed viewpoint with regards to parenting, understanding that both of you come from different backgrounds and see things differently. You both need to now decide and form for your own home how parenting should be like. Do you intend to use this style of parenting? What are the pros and cons with this style of parenting? What do you intend to do intentionally with regards to nurturing and raising, among so many other things? So, your vision and your mission as a family should have certain areas that cover the practical steps that you're going to take with regards to parenting. And this is not to say it is limited to only the things that are written out, maybe in your family vision or in your family mission or in your family's yearly plans and what have you. Not at all. But even as you go on and on and on, you may begin to even learn certain new things and you have conversations about them and begin to implement these new things. So, all right, so it's important that you have conversations around what style of parenting you people want to adopt in your home and give room from time to time to see if these things should be tweaked, if they need to be discarded, if you need to take on something new and whatnot. But it's important that you both have something concrete put down with regards to your family's vision and mission and the practical steps that you want to take with regards to parenting from time to time. And it should be reviewed from time to time. It's not something you just write down somewhere and you forget it. No, it should be reviewed from time to time. When you see that there are certain changes, positive or not so positive, come together to the drawing board, talk about it among so many other things and see how you can practically implement these things. All right. Now, the next thing that I would like you to also take note of is that if your spouse is not being intentional about parenting, you shouldn't badmouth them to your child or your children. Don't do that at all. You are making it worse. In fact, you're making your own intentionality worse. You're making everything spoil. You're spoiling everything. Okay? Badmouthing them is not the way to go. No, it's not for you to say, oh, assuming your mother was here now, she should be doing this, or this is your father's job to do, this is not my job to do, and things like that. No, don't do things like that. Okay? Ensure that no matter what it is that happens, you never badmouth your spouse to your child. It's very important that you're mindful of this. All right? The fifth point that I would like to mention is that you can begin to highlight or point out or appreciate any glimmer of parenting intentionality that you can see that your spouse is exuding. Okay. So you see them, maybe they've never done this before. Let's say pick up your child from school. And one day they just call and say, don't worry, don't go. I'll pick the child up from school today. Appreciate it. Like that's the best thing that has ever happened. Or they've never helped your child with homework, or they've never had any time to sit down with your child and have conversations or read to them or play with them. But out of the blues, one day they just do it. Appreciate it, like that's, highlight that so much that they begin to reflect on their own personally. Because I don't know anybody who gets appreciations that don't sometimes take out time to look at it and, and assess that appreciation to say, oh, okay, I'm doing something good there. Let me see how I can improve on that. Everybody who is appreciated tries to do better so that the appreciation gets even better, right? So see how best it is to don't just look at all the things that they are not doing right. Don't look at how they are not being intentional and whatnot. There must be at least one teeny weeny thing that they are doing right. That teeny weeny thing they are doing right. Major on it, okay? And don't focus more on the things that you want them to do that they are not doing. When you major on that thing, you'll see that there'll be a lot of changes around in even in the other areas that you want them to improve upon. All right. And then lastly, I'd like to say keep being the example. Okay. Keep being that parent that you want your spouse to be. So that as they are watching you and as they are seeing the results of your being intentional, somewhat people rub off on people one way or the other. You know, many people don't know how much of an influencer that they are in their spaces. Many people think that influencing is only limited to social media or to the public spaces, but even in your private space, you have no idea what influence you have on your spouse or on the people around you. So, as much as possible, see that you keep being the example, see that you keep showing them those things that you know are possible with regards to parenting intentionally. And with the help of God, you see that, like I already mentioned, these things can rub off on them and they'll start doing some of these things that you hope that they do. All right. So I hope that you have learned at least a thing or two from this video. If you have, do well to give it a thumbs up, share with somebody, and do much more. And if you have not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, do stay blessed. Bye.